friends, this is Lekesha Barnett sharing with you on this wonderful Palm Sunday and what we call Passion Week as we lead up into Good Friday and of course wonderful Resurrection Sunday. I was looking at the passages of the last 7 sayings of Christ and then in worship today at my home church in Houston, Texas. It was a beautiful Palm Sunday service and just got me thinking as I was looking at the scriptures again, and there was one verse in chapter 23 of Luke. It says in verse 33, when they came to the place called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right and the other on the left. Now, I know we know the story, but there was something that gripped me about that particular verse. I mean, Luke was a pretty detailed guy, and he stopped to make sure we understood. And that's what I want to ask you. Please, this week, before we rush on to celebrate the resurrection, don't rush past the cross. Don't rush past that entire day, that experience on that fateful Friday that was a shameful, heinous, actually bogus charges brought against Jesus, but it was to fulfill the Father's purpose to save our lost souls. I know that it's very tempting for us to really think about Easter and resurrection and he got up, but I'm going to celebrate that my own way too. Now, don't get me wrong. I plan to praise God and enjoy it with the rest of you, but I want to ask you to join me and millions of others this week. Make sure you sit down and take some time. Look at the Gospels. Read through that entire week from Palm Sunday and his glorious entry into Jerusalem on the back of that donkey. Go ahead, read that entire passage and compare the Gospels, but don't rush past the cross. Take time to stop there, and if you can, try to bring the images into your mind and reflect on the words that he said as he hung there, bleeding for us, suffering for us. It was because of that sacrifice. The one thing Jesus did say that we should always remember until he comes again, he says, remember my death until I come again. That is what we have to make sure we don't lose sight of. Even in the midst of preparing for celebration of his resurrection, don't rush past the cross, because it was at the cross that he purchased our liberty. It was at the cross when his body was broken and his blood was shed that we were redeemed. Don't rush past the cross. Take some time to reflect, even on how the message of enduring the pain can be an encouragement for us. I know many of my friends have gone through some great trials, and I have had my own over the last few years, but I remember that Jesus, he hung, he bled and died, not only to secure my salvation and make everything right for me to be reconnected with God spiritually, but his death also took care of sickness and disease. It also took care of bondage and oppression. Don't rush past the cross. We have so much to be thankful for. In this Passion Week, I hope that you will not only reflect on God's goodness in your life, but what the death of Christ means for the entire world. Because he died, we all have a right now to the tree of life. Life in him that can never be taken away. Have a wonderful, beautiful Passion Week, because Jesus lives